So when you think about diversity and inclusion, I have an ask of you. If it is important to you, or even if it's not, but I hope that it is because you're here. If it is important to you, try to talk about these issues without using the word. Try to talk about race without using the word. Try to talk about identity without using the word. Try to talk about inclusion without using the word. Try to talk about equity without using the word. If you said that equity is important to my organization, but you couldn't use the word, what would you say instead? I'm literally asking. The acoustics are good in the room. Anyone, what would you say? Liberation is important. Fill out the sentence. What would you say? Justice. Belonging. Opportunity. I keep pointing to this side of the room because you're underrepresented. All people. Acceptance. Full participation, and I think I heard community. Welcoming. Respect. Love. Access. See, once you get going, you can't stop. But if you talk about the concept, and it is not just a concept, I have to cook Thanksgiving dinner, or let me rephrase that, I get to cook Thanksgiving dinner. And if I'm imagining the dinner that I'm going to cook, and if it's just Thanksgiving dinner, I have kind of a fuzzy idea, but if I realize that I'm cooking for 14 people, including a lacto-ovo vegan, including someone who can't eat a lot of salt, including someone who is from Argentina and would love a little bit of taste from home, I have a very different idea of what my day is going to look like, what my 3 days are going to look like to prepare for Thanksgiving, right? It's the same thing. If you think about it in a very particular way, you understand what it is that you're reaching for. You have a different agenda, you have a different intention. And understand that if you're in a room that is diverse, if you're in a space that is diverse, every so often that happens just because, at the Apple store, at a sporting event. Not in a lot of places though. If you have the benefit of experiencing that, it's usually because of intention, because it was important to someone. So I want you to think about something. Imagine a world where people thought in the broadest possible way about inclusion and diversity. Because the reality is, in America today, most people who are in significant positions of leadership are there because they successfully avoided this issue. There's a lot of peril attached to it, right? Say the wrong thing, touch the guardrail, touch the third rail, and your career can go off the rails. If you aspire to sit in the corner office to be at the top of the org chart, you are disincented from doing this work. So let us imagine a world where there are incentives to do this work, where this work is valued, where this work is rewarded, where the people who move into leadership are given enough grace to take risks and to continue to move forward even if they make missteps or say the wrong thing. Imagine a world where people in leadership have courage and confidence and cultural competency around these issues. And in order to do that, that means working across difference. And I believe that that requires sharing our stories and sharing our narratives. Not so we can find common ground. I don't even use that word in my work anymore. I think it's asking too much. We are in a divided moment, and we all have different perspectives. But what we do instead is try to build sturdy cultural bridges. Because you know what holds a bridge up? Oppositional force. It's called tensile strength. And so when people think about this moment in America and they think, oh, we're so divided, I actually think there are moments of opportunity because we can, in this divided moment, figure out how we can work together across difference. We will be stronger. And I believe that the basis for that is narrative. I believe in narrative. I have learned from collecting 6-word stories that no one word can define any of us, but one person can definitely make a difference. One person can make a difference. You all have a chance to share your stories at the Race Card Project back there. There's stories about Chicago. There's stories that you can share about Chicago if you're visitors. So many of those are about how cold it is in Chicago. And I hope that you will come to the Race Card Project and add to this tremendous archive and share your stories with us. Remember that no one word can define any of us, but every one of us can make a difference. Thank you very much.